What if everything you ever loved, feared, or desired was not separate from the universe, but a thread in a single, infinite substance? What if the stars above, the rivers below, your heartbeat, and even your thoughts were all woven into the same unbroken fabric of existence? Spinoza is difficult, not because he hides the truth, but because he shows too much of it at once. To follow him is to see a world where nothing stands apart, where freedom is not what you imagine, and where God is not a ruler above us, but the universe itself, the infinite, indivisible, eternal whole. Bento, Baruch, Benedictus, three names meaning blessed, yet life allowed him no complacency. Born in 1632 into Amsterdam's Portuguese Jewish community, Spinoza was a boy whose mind could not be contained by the Talmud Torah. Some whispered he was destined for the rabbinate, yet at 17 he was forced to leave formal study to help the family business. In 1656, the community struck with excommunication, citing monstrous deeds and abominable heresies. The truth was simpler. He questioned the soul's immortality, God's providence, and the literal binding of the Torah. Cast out, he stepped willingly into exile. Amsterdam receded. The world stretched infinite before him. He wandered, wrote, and thought. In Rheinsberg, he sketched the foundations of ethics. In Voorburg, he dissected Descartes, learning his structure of ideas while daring to imagine beyond them. When religious intolerance threatened freedom, he wrote the theological political treatise anonymously, shocking a world unprepared for such radical clarity. Spinoza lived precisely where courage meets thought. Spinoza's mind was a collision of worlds. Descartes divided reality, mind and matter, spirit and flesh. Hobbes mapped power and desire with cold precision. The Stoics whispered of virtue and harmony. Medieval Jewish rationalism trained him to see the subtle geometries of thought. Into this lineage, Spinoza poured his fire. Unlike his predecessors, he refused division. Where Descartes saw two worlds, Spinoza saw one. A single vast ocean of being, where every wave, every current, every drop is inseparable from the whole. Spinoza asks, if everything is in God, and God is infinite and necessary, flowing without end, where does your freedom begin? If the universe follows deterministic necessity, like the angles of a triangle, like the orbit of planets, are your choices illusions? Yet this is not despair. It is a doorway to seeing yourself and the world with clarity. It is late. You're on your couch, watching a film. A craving rises. A yogurt in the fridge. You rise, grab it, savor it. You feel free. And yet Spinoza would remind you, this choice, however personal it feels, has roots you never see. Maybe a commercial flickered across your mind. Maybe a memory of comfort from childhood guided your hand. Maybe subtle chemical changes in your brain nudged you. Your will did not conjure the desire, it followed it. Or consider love. Your heart leaps at a glance, your voice trembles with a message sent. Do you decide to feel warmth? Or is your affection the sum of countless converging causes, the softness in their smile, a memory that blooms? Hormones, past experiences, all pulling you inexorably in this direction. Even anger is chained by the world. A quarrel erupts. Words fly. You believe you act freely, yet your reaction is a product of upbringing, the rhythm of your heartbeat, memories and sensations. Each gesture, each word, a domino in an endless chain. Not random, not capricious, necessary. And yet, the inevitability is not despair. Seeing the currents shaping your passions illuminates your mind. Understanding why you act or feel as you do gives a different freedom, Not freedom from causality, but freedom through knowledge, aligning yourself with the flows of existence rather than being tossed blindly by them. Your joys, griefs, desires, are they enemies or guides? If all is determined, then blame, guilt, and regret must be reconsidered. Spinoza does not destroy freedom, he redefines it. Freedom is understanding causality. It is insight into the forces shaping your mind, a chance to act in harmony with them rather than in ignorance. Responsibility, then, is not rebellion, it is comprehension, reflection, and rational alignment with the world. If no one is the first cause of their desires, how do we love? How do we forgive? How do we live fully? When we see that every person, every stone, every event flows from the necessity of God or nature, the familiar ground of judgment trembles. Yet this trembling is awakening, not terror. Understanding necessity liberates the mind from illusions, fears, and superstitions. Freedom is not escape. Freedom is understanding. Clarity, joy, serenity emerge when we stop imagining ourselves as the universe's first cause and recognize our place within its infinite unfolding. God, or nature, Deus sive Natura, is not a judge, not a planner, not a being demanding awe. It is the substance from which all flows. To know it, to study it, is to participate in eternity. All that we see, feel, love, or fear pulses through a single, magnificent, infinite substance. You are not apart, you are not above, you are within. And understanding this is true freedom. Today, what would it mean to live with eyes open to the infinite currents shaping your life? How would your understanding of freedom, responsibility, and joy shift if you saw yourself as inseparable from the whole? Share your reflections. Explore Spinoza's radical clarity and see what questions it awakens within you.